I've always wanted to join the military since I was a very young child, and I absolutely love the military. I would have been in for 40 years if they let me. I'd say it was one of the most positive experiences of my life that was mixed in with some of the most traumatic and horrible and sad moments of my life as well. I was medically discharged in 2008 due to a vestibular schwannoma, which is a benign brain tumor. It was on my right side, inside my head. And when they took that tumor out, it had taken my hearing and balance from the right side. So a scout in the Army who can't hear and couldn't walk and couldn't drive and couldn't run wasn't much use for the scouts. So after my surgery and a little bit of recovery and rehab, I was medically discharged in March of 2008. So I had my surgery in July of 2007, and I had that core group around me, the ones I went to basic with, the ones we fought together, the ones we partied together and lived together, and just, we lived for each other. They were around me the whole time, and they helped me in my rehabilitation. When I got sent back to my unit, they realized I was going to be medically discharged, so I was transitioned to a warrior transition unit, which was the unit that basically preps you to get out of the military and lets you take care of your medical needs and go to your appointments. That was my first time being away from the people that I had been with since the day we raised our right hand. And as they're getting ready to ramp up and go back to the war zone, I'm getting, basically de-escalated and getting sent back to the civilian world. And it was extremely tough for me. And in March of 2008, when I got out, I had no clue what I was going to do next. Everything was just a blur. At the time, I didn't know I had post-traumatic stress. I didn't know I had traumatic brain injury. I didn't know that I had these unseen hidden wounds. I couldn't turn off what was going on in my head. I couldn't turn off Sergeant Nutter. I couldn't turn off the military mode. And it was very difficult for me to interact and for me to, have that normal life and be that civilian again. I would walk down the street to the bar. I'd drink there all day. I knew the owner. My tab was pretty cheap. I knew the bartenders. I get pretty good treatment down there. I'd order a turkey club and get it to go home and eat my sandwich. I'd fall asleep on my couch in the living room, wake up hungover, watch TV, go down to the bar, drink all day, order a turkey sandwich, come home, and it was the same thing every day. And then I got to the point where every morning I wake up, I'm like, am I gonna friggin' do this again? Am I gonna go through this one more time? And I was like, I'm just gonna swallow the shotgun. Let's just get it done with. And I realized how serious that was, that I felt that way, that, oh my God, I'm gonna hurt myself. This is what they talk about. This is what I've been lectured about all these times. If you feel like hurting yourself or somebody else, no, never. I'm not gonna, that's not me. Like, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to hurt myself. This is bad. So I had contacted friends and family members, and they had come down and removed all the dangerous stuff from my apartment, which included firearms, knives, to the point where literally the most dangerous place or dangerous item in my apartment for a while was like a plastic butter knife. So since I came home from Iraq in November of 2006, I've had about 15 friends, people I served with, and people that I've worked with complete suicide. It's a very personal and close thing to me. That's something I really focus a lot of my work on, is suicide prevention and suicide awareness. Our very first suicide that I was exposed to when we came home was another one of my really good friends, Jake Wellman. Suicide by firearm after having an argument with his spouse, and he'd come back from Iraq the same time we did, and was having issues and stuff that wasn't talked about, wasn't addressed, and he hung the phone up, and then boom. We have people coming home that are facing a whole different set of traumas and experiences that the average civilian is, and it's a population that's very comfortable and feels very safe around weapons, and they're very proficient and experts in many weapon systems. You're looking at a population that is very mission oriented, a population that's not afraid of death and it's not afraid of firearms, and when they have that impulse reaction to attempt and complete suicide, chances are they're going to do it. There's nothing we did in the military that didn't have a plan, didn't have a course of action, didn't have an operation order, it didn't have rehearsals, it didn't have things that were set in stone, so you knew if A happened, you would do B, C, and D. What are you going to do if you're going to go into crisis? Where is your weapon going to go? How are you going to render that weapon safe for you while you're in crisis? And what is your plan to get that removed from the immediate situation? Everybody should have that, whether it's somebody coming to take that weapon away from you and store it for you temporarily while you are dealing with your issue, whether it's a family member, a friend, whether you have your own course of action where you may disassemble the weapon and spread different pieces of it out around the house, which is very common. Just take the firing pin out of the weapon. You have a rifle, pop the firing pin out. Boom, too easy. In the military, you have your battle buddy. My job is to keep my battle buddy alive. His job was to keep me alive in the battlefield. As long as I took care of him, he was there to take care of me. So if my plan is to have a friend come take the weapon from me or to assist me when I'm in some sort of crisis, then I'm automatically part of his plan. If he's gonna do for me, then I'm gonna do for him. And that, can be verbalized and talked about, but there's a bond there and there's an understanding there that we understand that if I'm in crisis, he's there to help me. If he's in crisis, I'm there to help him. If we're both in crisis, we're going to find our other buddies and we're going to take care of it all together and we're going to do it as a group therapy. The only issue I have with people owning weapons that may be dealing with some sort of mental health crisis is the lack of a plan. Don't beat around the bush. Don't have to use code words or whisper it. You have firearms. What's your plan? And like I said, from a vet to vet, that's so much easier to say. You guys serve together. Your brothers in arms, your sisters in arms, and you got to be there for each other. One of the main ethos is never leave a fallen comrade. So people think, oh, it's for the greater good, service before self, and I'll take care of somebody else before I take care of me. Well, don't make yourself that fallen comrade. Let somebody else take care of you.